What's that? A video on top 10 gaming that's telling you not to purchase a Sonic game? What is this hypocrisy? Well friends, let's be perfectly honest here. There's a lot of great Sonic games out there, and then there's ones that are garbage. While Sonic Forces may not be a steaming pile of crap like some of the other games that Sega has pumped out without much regard for fans or the beloved iconic character's reputation, yes, blame them, Sonic Forces is without a doubt not the best 3D game in their arsenal. Also, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, we did do a video on the top 10 reasons why you should buy Sonic Forces. And no, I did not buy Sonic Forces. Here's why you shouldn't either. And at number 10, Sonic Mania. Let's start off this list by pointing out the obvious. The game that was released prior to Sonic Forces is a significantly better game, and it does the franchise justice. While some critics have called it a glorified fan game, considering the development team behind it was different than the typical Team Sonic that heads most of the Blue Blur's other video game properties, it's proven itself to be a game worthwhile, described as inherently nostalgic, emulating the original Sonic games exceptionally with controls and game mechanics that were seamless. So all in all, coming off of the success of a game like that, critics saw Sonic Forces as a major disappointment, lacking the polished mechanics that Mania, despite being a very different kind of game, exhibited with ease. One step forward, two steps back. Sounds about right. And at number 9, the story. People were mixed on the story in Sonic Forces. While critics generally panned it, the fans were divided. Some dug it and enjoyed the challenge Sonic faced with Infinite. On the other hand, some felt that it was sloppy, it wasn't very compelling, and that there had been previous storylines in previous Sonic games that were way more memorable. The story tried to take on a more mature tone, but floundered. Up next, number 8, Playable Characters. Getting into some more nitpicky territory here, another common complaint with the game was the fact that you can't play as any other iconic Sonic characters. The game has 3 playable characters: Sonic, or Modern Sonic, Classic Sonic, and the Avatar character. And as a bonus, you can also play as Shadow in a limited series of levels called Episode Shadow. While the Avatar generally received a positive reception, many fans that were looking forward to playing as Tails, Knuckles, or Amy felt disappointed. The characters make appearances as NPCs, but many fans felt that was still lacking, especially with Classic Sonic being a technical disappointment. But more on that later. And at number 7, poorly written dialogue.
When we join forces, the sky's the limit!
Didn't try very hard there, did they? And at number 6, Autopilot. One of the biggest qualms with the game is that the modern Sonic levels lack any sort of challenge, and can be played on autopilot, so to speak. Essentially, if you stay centered on the tracks and hit the attack button occasionally, it's not difficult to beat. While that may be taking liberty and assuming that the difficulty of the game is easy for everyone from all sorts of gaming backgrounds, for the most part, die-hard Sonic fans who have played the majority of the other Sonic games will likely feel themselves lacking a challenge. Up next, number 5, Nintendo Switch. Before the game was released, Sega swore that the quality of Forces was consistent across consoles, specifically for the Nintendo Switch, which runs at 30 frames per second as opposed to the 60 frames per second that the PS4, Xbox One, and PC versions run on. Well, guess who was wrong? Yep, Sega. This makes the Switch version run less smoothly than others, and the visuals are noticeably downgraded compared to the other consoles, especially when the Switch is docked, causing pixelation and blurring. Aren't inconsistencies just the most fun thing ever? Thanks, Sega. Always got our back. And at number 4, the level design. Speaking of inconsistencies, the level design in Forces is inconsistent as well. While visually stunning and accompanied by a stellar soundtrack, the level design itself is quite lacking. Physics are not smooth, momentum changes happen frequently, and ends up resulting in unnecessarily taking hits that, had the physics of the game been more developed, could have been easily prevented. As a whole, the game feels inconsistent too, with the variation of levels not being spread out, but rather jarringly placed next to one another, like one level feeling really smooth with lots of momentum, and another one being incredibly particular about platform placement that feels rigid. And at number 3, short levels. Speaking of the game as a whole, it's pretty easy to fly through it, considering all the levels are fairly short. There's 30 stages with some bonus levels, but the length combined with the autopilot vibe of the game overall makes it feel lackluster. While there is supposed to be some replayability in terms of mixing things up with your original character avatar and the Wispins, the weapons powered by wisps that you can equip and do different things with, many players felt that even that wasn't enough to make the game worthwhile. The boss battles did manage to step up and impress though, but as some critics noted, they wish there were more of them. Up next, number 2, Classic Sonic. One of the things that Sega is notorious for is adding features to their Sonic games that, in theory, seem fantastic, but in execution are severely lacking, and as a result feel half-baked, as if they've been tacked onto the game. The inclusion of Classic Sonic in Forces is exactly that. Critics varied on their thoughts, from feeling that Classic Sonic was a solid inclusion but didn't add anything remarkable or memorable to the game, to critics feeling Classic Sonic was the worst of the 3 playable characters due to bad physics. His momentum was all wonky, and the drop dash isn't as nearly as fun as it is to use in Sonic Mania, hence the underdeveloped half-ass tacked-on thing that we mentioned earlier. The platform levels don't give players anything new, and aren't up to par with those of Sonic Mania, making the gameplay experience for those who played and enjoyed Mania all the more disappointing. And finally, in at number 1, more of the same. One of the biggest critics of the game was that Sonic Forces does nothing to forward the Sonic series. It's no better than Generations or Colors, and considering how Sega has been trying to come up with a solid Sonic 3D game over the last several years, it's, well, as we've said a billion times, disappointing. Much of what they present feels underdeveloped or tacked on, which we also mentioned too. And it's starting to feel that even after 26 years, the Sonic team at Sega just can't get it right. Many fans have pointed out that the people involved at Sega with the development of Forces, for the most part, are lacking a lot of the credits and experience that past developers who worked on the likes of Generations and Colors had. So it kind of makes sense. Perhaps Sega needs to spend more time showing Sonic some TLC rather than just quickly trying to push out games as fast as they can. There we have it, friends. Perhaps do yourselves a favor and just go out and buy Sonic Mania instead. As harsh as these points are, remember, it's important to critique the things that you love. And after 26 years, isn't it time that Sonic deserved a better developed 3D game? Let us know your thoughts on that in the comments below. And as always, please hit those like and subscribe buttons if you dug this video. And make sure you spread the love and share this with a friend who you think is in danger of buying Sonic Forces. Or perhaps already has and just needs some sort of catharsis. That being said, thanks for watching everyone. Feel free to check out one of our playlists on our channel for more top 10 gaming. I'll catch you all in the next one.